Let us walk close to Him. We will be satisfied as long as we walk. Oh, dear Lord, close to Thee. Just a closer walk with Thee. Grant it, Lord, this my plea. Daily walking close to Thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. Welcome, friends, to this another day. A day again where we talk about and think about where we shall find the power to do great things, to overcome the world, to live victoriously, to have meaning in this life and in the life after, leave a legacy. Where do we find the power? The question we have been asking, and I think we have the answer. Knock, knock. Who is there? Well, my name is Love. Love who? Well, you know, my name is Greater Love Covenant Man. Oh yeah? Why are you here? I am able to give you the power and enable you to do good and great works. Without me, you can do nothing. You know, just look around you everywhere in the world. What is missing? There's a shortage of a greater love ethic in the world. The big elephant in the room is this shortage of love. And because of it, we are experiencing all kinds of powerlessness in the world. A spiral sometimes, even of this powerlessness, that has skyrocketed and has become even much bigger. Welcome, Charles. Conflicts abound. Everywhere you look in the world today, there are conflicts. This conflict, that conflict. Families, nations, tribes, groups of people, conflict. How shall we solve this? We just had one optimistic happening in South Sudan, where the rivals signed a peace deal. But you know, they've been here before, and we trust that this one will stay, it will not dissipate. If only these groups know how to love and to really care for one another as the love of the man we are going to read about cared, there would be no conflict in South Sudan. You know, South Sudan is very rich, very wealthy. There's oil. There are all kinds of resources there, isn't it? You would think because people have wealth, then they have solved their problems. No, sometimes when you have wealth, you create more problems. If you don't believe me, just ask the people who've won the lottery. As soon as they win the lottery, everybody comes out of the woodworks and claims a piece of it, and those families are never the same again. So this is what is mind-boggling as we look into Africa. What are we seeing in Africa? We are seeing a lot of people running away from Africa. It's a country, it's a continent with a lot of resources. It's the richest continent in the world in terms of resources, but people are running away from wealth because conflicts abound. And people have never known how to solve those conflicts. So Mr. Love comes knocking in, saying, hey, I got the answer. In Toronto, in Ontario, in Canada, in the USA, in our cities, we have gun violence. You know what shocked me the other day is that just about every day, someone is dying in Toronto from some kind of violence. And I just can't understand it. Every day, someone is actually dying from violence. In fact, this is one of the worst years in terms of violence in the city of Toronto. Why? You know why? There's a shortage of the covenant, of the ethic of greater love. Without that, Mchungaji John Karibu, without that ethic of the covenant of love, of this greater love ethic, even very simple things can cause people to fight over a girlfriend, fight over very other minor things. In fact, they say 10% of the conflict or the fights that you are seeing is just because of a difference of opinion. He said this, you say that, and boom, bang, boom. Right away, there is a conflict. It is not usually a major thing. It's just a difference of opinion. Sometimes it's just the way you said it. Oh, you looked at me funny, man. You looked at me funny, man. And there, conflict grows. But you see, if we are filled with this great covenant of love, of the greater love from above, these things will not bother us. There are things that we just, we don't, mind or worry about too much. We just let them go. Because our hearts are filled with a big tank of a great covenant of love. We forgive it and we move on, and our lives are filled with true peace and true joy. All the victims of the gun violence in the city of Toronto, my heart goes out to you. All the victims of violence in homes, children being abused, and domestic violence in homes, my heart goes out to you. I pray that you might know this power of His covenant of love, that there is a way to solve these things. And the problem is that as human beings, we have been through so much turmoil through our lives, such that we tend to replay our pain through others. We inflict that pain on other people. So if we could get healing, then my belief is that we will not inflict that pain on other people. Maybe the reason why you are so angry and so bitter and so frustrated is just because of some pain inside your own heart. And today I want to tell you that there is healing in this great covenant of love that we talked about and we sang about. It says, just a closer walk with thee, let me be. Let me be closer to your love, Lord. Fill my heart with this great ethic of love, a covenant of love. Poverty, you know, unbelievable that there is poverty in the world. And as Nelson Mandela says, poverty is not an accident. It is like slavery and apartheid, it is man-made. And it can be removed by the actions of human beings. So how shall the human beings act on this? Simply by learning to truly love their neighbors as they love themselves. Truly loving your neighbor as you love yourself. You know, that is the antidote for poverty in the world. Now, when somebody has $10 billion, what do you need all that loot for? I was told some of the leaders in some of these countries of Africa, they have amassed so much wealth. Where are they taking it? While their neighbors, their friends, indeed, their very own relatives within their homesteads are impoverished, are sleeping hungry, are walking destitute. I look at the poverty in the cities of the countries of the world, and it is staggering. But by the way, this poverty is not just in Africa. Sometimes people think that poverty is only in Africa. Ever heard of California? That great place where they produce Hollywood movies? There's this place that is littered with tents and people camping there in poverty, in squalor. Well, how many billionaires do we have in the US? Think about it. What's wrong with our world, friends? What's wrong with our world? Something is terribly wrong. And they keep on telling us, you know what, the gap between the rich. I like Jack Ma said, if I only have 1 million is enough. The rest is money for others. And I believe it. There is enough. And we should share the wealth and not hold the wealth, and uplift our societies into a prosperous nation. You know why? You know why we should do that? We have the same DNA types. We are similar to each other. We are equally endowed. We are our brothers and our sisters. Keep us. When one suffers, we all suffer. So may we understand we are bound to one another. Today it's me, tomorrow it's you. As the good old saying goes around, what comes around goes around. So it is incumbent upon us as people of goodwill to think deeply about our societies, to be transformed in how we think about others. Indeed, poverty can be eradicated, just like Mandela said. Then there are domestic issues, problems, unhealthy relationships. There are many relationships that are on the rocks. That should not be, you know, and the reason why, as I say throughout this exercise, is a deficiency of the greater covenant of love. A greater covenant of love is deficient in our hearts. And this is why we wrestle with our spouses, with our children, we struggle. But as soon as we begin to grow in the nature of this deep ethic of the greater love of covenant, exemplified in those that have gone before us, the Nelson Mandelas, the Martin Luther King, the Mother Teresa's, the Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and on and on and on. All these people have come to one realization: the greatest quality of human beings is this capacity to love not only ourselves, but to love others as we love ourselves, to protect, to care, and to cherish for them. So our relationships can be healed at the minute we allow this love to come in. Now, it's a love that is beyond our natural comprehension, and so it has to come from a much higher ability. It's from above, and that's why he's knocking, saying, I'm standing at the door knocking. If you listen, you open your door, I will come in. Who is saying that? The universe of love, the universe of goodness, the universe of all that is precious, wonderful, amazing, most beautiful, knocks at the door of your heart and says, let me come in. And this spirit, this presence, this gift, this great, great gift will come into you and will begin to grow like a seed, just like a small seed. You plant a seed in the ground and you don't know what will become of that seed. But in a short while, you begin to see the seed bring up, sprout, and then become a fruitful tree. And so he knocks at you. Will you let him come in? The abuse of children, tremendous abuse of children. Now, why would anybody hurt their own child? I've never understood that. This is a person that you are involved in bringing to this world. You went to the hospital, you saw the trauma, you saw the pain, and here we are battering our own kids. Deficiency of love. And those that are feeling empty today, just inner empty, just empty, you don't know what you're living for, a deficiency of love. If you have suicidal thoughts, you are anxious, you are fearful, life is difficult for you. You're abusing drugs, you're trying to escape from that depression. There is a greater answer. Open up to the Spirit, the omniscience, the power of love is here with you. Will you let him come in? Will you let this universal principle of greater love come in? And it's as closest to your mouth. They're saying, come in, and it comes in. The day the power of love overrules the love of power, the world will know peace. Mahatma Gandhi saying, love, this greater covenant of love, is the beauty of the soul. It is not just the erotic love we know about. It's a love that is beyond, that type of love, the Hollywood love. It is a much more bigger and caring love. And through it, Nelson Mandela conquered. Through it, you shall conquer. We can change the world today. We can change the world today. It starts with you embracing